Here we are. Okay. Good evening. Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 to 7:30. Followed by Katie at 7:30, so don't miss the yoga tonight afterwards. What is that? Oh, Taylor. Hello. All right. Well, I'm ready if you are. Welcome. Tuesday night. Tonight we're going to be talking about closed guard fundamentals, bottom of guard fundamentals. Let's look at our first closed guard attack series. Okay, that's going to be Kimura, bump sweep, and guillotine. Okay, and I'm going to look at them one at a time. And basically, we're going to be learning the solo drill motions for these. You can practice these on your own. You can get sharp with these on your own if you practice them. And you just need a solo drill. You just need, okay, what are the motions I should go through? What are the steps I should make sure I remember? So that's what I'm going to do now in this class. Okay, so let's start with a Kimura. I'm going to jump right into technique. Okay, if you guys want to warm up. Going forward, just in the future, if you want to warm up, just grab a warm up before class, especially Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have a little bit less time. Okay. Jay Dumont, hope you're doing well, brother. So if I'm doing a Kimura, closed guard, okay, so you have just about the same point of view I have. Closed guard, if I'm going to do the Kimura, a lot of times it's because they goofed and they touched the floor. The floor is lava and the Kimura is Y. Okay, so don't put your hands on the floor. We can talk about how I get their hands on the floor, but let's presume for now that my person is stationary, has made the mistake of putting their arms on the floor, and I want to take advantage of it. This is how. I'm going to open my legs, put my feet on the floor, and close my knees against their hips. I'm not trying to crush them with my hips. I just don't want to lose contact, because if there's a space between me and their hips, they're going to push my leg down and step over. So that would not be good. From closed guard, feet to the floor, knees to the hips, just against the hips, right? And now we're going to need to sit up. So we have to practice our good sit-up, and it's not going to be the kind of sit-up that you would do in a workout where you use your abdominal muscles. I don't even want you to use any muscles, if possible, anywhere. So how am I going to sit up if I don't do that? So we're going to do it this way. We're going to have you side bend away from the direction you want to get up, okay? Because I really want to sit up over there. So the first thing I'm going to do is move away from my target so that I can just roll up over my elbow. I got to tell you, I used almost no abs to do that. Okay. I mean, definitely used a little bit of abs, but nowhere near what it takes to sit up like that. Okay. So feet down, side bend, roll up over your elbow. And now your hand is probably just about in range for their wrist here. And what we're going to do is reach over their shoulder. The head is here. And I'm going to go over the opposite shoulder, wrap around behind, and then connect to my wrist. And I'm grabbing their wrist. So I grab their wrist with my elbow hand. The one that goes over and laces through grabs my wrist. Okay. Now, from the beginning, let's review those steps. Feet down, side bend, sit up and connect my hands. And there's one other thing that I did here, which is to shoot my hips out a little bit when I sat up. It's going to make it harder to just push you down, okay? But it's also going to help you in case you can hit one of the other submissions that we do. So I'm going to leave it in there as an important detail we'll talk more about. Feet down, side bend, roll up, connect your hands, and hip out. Okay. Now, once I've got this, I can actually control them all the way to the floor over here. I just want to bring my hips back under, look over my shoulder, and bring them here. Recross my feet. So I want your feet recrossed, okay? And then hug their arm to you. And we can finish a submission basically by looking up toward their head. You'll know how when there's an arm in your hand, your evil clutches. Okay, so feet to the floor, side bend, roll up over your elbow, hip out, connect your hands. This is good practice. Just even doing this motion like this, miming it. Now look over your shoulder, bring your hips back to the center, and then just roll. And the person will land face down right next to you. You're holding onto their shoulder, no good for them. Hug it to you, and you kind of turn here to finish. That'll be more clear when there's an arm in your eagle clutches. Feet down, side bend, roll up, hip out, connect your hands. Look over your shoulder, hips back to the center, roll to the other side, recross your feet, hug the arm, and we're going to finish it here. I never really want you to finish it without hugging it though. So I want you to practice the hug when you're miming the move here, when you're solo drilling. Okay. Solo drilling is the way cooler way to say miming. Miming is not very in vogue. Okay, so I'm gonna say solo drilling going forward. Okay. Feet down, side bend away from where I'm going so I can see it. And now just roll up over your elbow. Way less abdominal, use here. I'm gonna hip out. It gives me a deeper reach too. I can actually reach further when I do that. Now hips in, look over your shoulder, fall to the side, recross, hug the arm. Okay, and we'll finish there. So let's do 3 more reps. Hopefully you're doing them with me. Be doing reps with me. And if you're watching and you're not doing them, I applaud it. That's fine. You definitely watch this. See if you can sort of feel it, even though you're only watching it. Building the ability to see and then connect that to your sort of motor part of your brain, visual and motor, is important, super important, because you'll be able to watch videos for the rest of your career. So it's okay to be watching this. Just try to feel it, even though you're not doing it. If you're doing it, follow with me. We'll do 3 more. So feet down, side bend, roll up over the tip of your elbow. This is easy. No abs. Hip out. So now I'm laying on my leg. Reach over, connect both wrists. Now look over your shoulder, hips to the center. Roll back to the other side. Recross your feet and hug the arm. Feet down, side bend, roll up over the elbow, hip out, catch the arm. Look over your shoulder and recenter your hips. And then you can roll. Roll to your side here. Hug the arm with the recrossed feet. Last one. Feet down, side bend, roll up over the elbow. Hip out. Interlace the arms. Now, hip in. Look over your shoulder, roll over and recross. Hug the arm. Okay. And that's a good solo drill for Kimura. Kimura, one of our very basic submissions, and the first in the most basic trio of sort of a chain of submissions that we do: Kimura, bump sweep, and guillotine. So I'm going to work through those one by one here. So now, and I'm going to connect them this way, but there are many ways that you could connect them. You could follow up Kimura with bump sweep, as I'm about to do, or connect them in a different order, and all of those are fine. But this week I'm going to do it this particular way. Kimura, bump sweep, second. So why is bump sweep? How could bump sweep be second? Well, it depends on what they give you, right? You're not always going to take what you want. You're going to take what they give you. So if I've goofed and I had put my hands on the ground like this, and somebody sits up and they reach over this shoulder, and I've seen the Kimura before, and I kind of have the feeling this is not going to go my way, right? And I don't want them to reconnect their hands and then catch me like this and put me face down. One of the reactions that you're going to see commonly is that the person, when you go for their arm, is going to try to get away, right? There's kind of 2 things that they're going to do. I have never seen anyone, run that way or that way, sideways, but forward and back, 100%. People will either, whoa, no, you don't, pull their arm back. They're trying to get it back away from you, or they'll go into you. And we're going to deal with if they pull away from you. If they go into you, we're thinking guillotine. But now for bump sweep, the trigger is they pulled away. So the person was here, you started to wrap the arm, and they do this. Then I always say, it's almost like there's a flashing yellow arrow behind me, and you want to look for that. When you're the bottom guy and the top guy does something like this, what they're telling you is, my golden, flashing arrow points that way. I am trying to get away, and that's what you're going to use to, when I pull it away, to go with the momentum and knock me over. We always go with the opponent's energy, okay? So, that said, let's start the same way, where I'm going to put my feet down, and I'm going to side bend, and I'm going to get them as if to hit the Kimura. When the opponent's golden flashing arrow comes on, and they start moving away from me, the first thing I have to do is change one little thing about my setup, and that is to get more height. So I'm going to go from just my elbow up to my hands. The reason is this. The hip bump sweep, the power for the hip bump sweep comes from our ability to hit the person in the chest with our hips. And I can only get so high off of my elbow as opposed to off of my hand. Right? I could knock a small child off their feet when I'm up on my hand. But here, you know, I just can't get very high. So what I need is feet down, side bend. They start to retreat. Okay, we can go that way. And I just need a higher base to do it. So I come up to my hand. I reach over the same way, just like I was going to reach over to connect. But this time I just catch the elbow. And I catch that elbow that would have possibly caught their balance. When you catch the elbow, they can't catch themselves and they fall over. Feet down, side bend. When they run away, I come up to my hand. I hold their elbow, and you can see already my hips are coming off the ground. This is the beginning of me hitting them in the chest. And one thing is you want to make sure that this knee, this on the side you're going to, isn't in the way. You want to put it on the ground and have it be a hinge. So I put it down, and I bump, and I roll right over that hinge. This is the hinge. And I bump and roll over the hinge. So you do want to put that hinge down. Okay, so feet down, side bend. I want the Kimura, but then they start to run. So I come to my hand, I chase. I come up to my hand, reach over, catch the elbow, lay this leg down, bump, and roll them over. Feet down, side bend. Boom, arrow comes on, they start to run. Okay, so I come to my hand, catch the elbow, lay my leg down, bump them over. I come up, and this is the moment the arrow comes on. I go to my hand, elbow, their elbow, bump them in the chest by laying my leg down, and roll right over it. Everything changes now. It starts to run. Hand, catch their elbow, bump the chest with your hips. Okay, let's get like 4 more. Feet down, side bend, hip out. Uh-oh, they're running. Come up to your hand. Catch the elbow over that opposite shoulder. Bump the chest, roll over your shin. 3 more. Feet down, side bend. They run. Hand, elbow, bump. They run. Hand, catch the elbow, bump them in the chest. I go for this, but they run. Hand, catch the elbow, bump. Last one. Boom. That's how these two might connect. And this is a drill that you can do to connect 2 moves. And I'm going to give you a third as well. Okay. And the third is the guillotine. So Kimura, bump sweep, and guillotine. So how a guillotine might happen off of a failed bump sweep. So first let me connect the second 2, and then we can talk about it as a trio. Okay. The second 2 connect this way. Bump sweep takes advantage of a forward-backward energy, continuum. So when I go and I want to bump him over, it's reliant. Like I said, we're going with his energy. It's reliant on their energy going backwards. So when I start to go, if they drive their energy forward again, they might drive me back down to close guard, probably close guard, but at least they didn't get, Kimura'd or swept. So when I'm this person, this only makes sense. That when you go for my arm, I go, oh, no, you don't. But then I notice you're trying to knock me out backwards. I might go, oh, no, you don't. So I pull away. It's very reactive, but functional. I will stop you from catching my arm by pulling away. And I might stop the bump sweep by driving in, especially by bringing my hips off my heels and sort of driving forward. Definitely possible that you'll see these happen in this order. So with that said, when I catch the arm, almost catch the arm, but they back up. So I come up and I chase. When they drive back in, we need to not get flattened out to our back, first of all. So let me add 2 small details to what we're doing. One's going to be on this side, and one's going to be on the other side. When I get up, first thing, my fingertips, you'll notice, point behind me, and that's really important. When I'm on my elbow, if I come up to my hand, Greg said come up to my hand, so I'm on my hand now, right? So easy to knock me backwards because the hinge just works that way, you know? Someone pushes me here, boom, I just fall over. If when you get up to your hand, you turn your fingers backwards, when you push into the person, now it's a good stiff, like it's a locked out elbow, and my shoulder, like all this is support. This stops me from getting knocked over backwards, even from a pretty big guy. This is a strong, usable kickstand. This, it's just like exactly like a kickstand if you put the kickstand with the foot facing the wrong way. You know, of course the bike's gonna fall over. Okay. So that's one thing I want to add to what you were already doing, if you hadn't been doing it that way already. The second thing I want to add to what you were doing to help us, you know, deal with the person changing direction moving forward so that they don't flatten us out and so that they don't end up on top of us. They can move forward and that's good for my guillotine, but I just need to be able to get me out of the way too. So I want to not get knocked over, so I'll have my fingers pointing backwards. And I want to be able to be mobile and move myself. And that's what I need this detail for. Feet are down and I get up. And when they start to go and I start to get up, I want you to do one thing I didn't mention before, which is bring these toes back to here. So now this does give me more of a runner start when I do a good bump sweep. Okay, so it's a little better than just bumping from here. Again, for height even, I can get higher when this is close to my butt. But the real reason that I'm showing it, you know, now, and I feel like it's a memorable detail now, is because it's absolutely imperative for the guillotine. If my foot's here, maybe I can bump someone over, but if they drive back into me, I can only get this far away from them. If I want to run so I don't end up underneath them, I only have this far to go, just that far. Just from here to here, using my foot on the ground, this foot on the ground, to only move myself that far. If when I go to do this, I get a runner start, I bring my foot back kind of closer to my butt, I'll get more power on a bump sweep, but also if someone drives into me, now look how far I can go. I can go all this distance using the whole leg on the ground. Important when you do this, and this will be how I catch the guillotine. Important when you do this is that you don't kick your foot off the ground. Marry this connection to the floor. Your foot and the floor have to stay together. So when someone starts pushing into you, you know, don't kick off the ground, push along the ground. And now I have a straight leg, and as close as my foot connection to the ground was to my butt before, it is now far from my butt because my leg is this long. And that's useful. Useful because a person who has decided that they're going to drive forward and get on top of you when you thought you would try to bump sweep them is going to be committed to moving forward and getting on top of you. So as they try to do this, this is when we can catch the guillotine. My feet are going, and I'm going to stay at this angle here, just so you see this foot as part of it. So my feet come down, I side bend, I go to sit up for the Kimura, they start to run, so I get up, and that's the moment I'll switch from my elbow to my hand, but also into my runner's start here. That's where a good bump sweep, but look, somebody starts to drive forward, they say, no you don't. They drive forward. So I back way up. I change my body into this shape here. I'm almost like, I want you to think of this as almost like a catcher's mitt. Okay? Because I'm going to catch the person coming forward. I have backed away, and I'm going to be here. And they want to knock over my upper body and get on top of me. And they will. And that's okay. But I'm going to catch their head on the way in. So I'm going to wrap under their head. And this one, I don't want to go behind their shoulder. I want to go right in front of the shoulder. So keep these close to you and wrap this guillotine. And now, I'm going to move because of the wall. And now they came in. I got the neck. When they flatten me out, which they will succeed in knocking me down. I have the head, though, now here. So now I can cross my feet, hold on to my guillotine, extend, and raise my choking arm. And that's the move. That's the move right there. So let me get a good angle on this. Feet down. Side bend. I want the Kimura. Okay. No, they start to run. Okay, so I come up to my hands, and I retreat this foot, because that's now I want to chase it. But then they drive into me. When they drive into me, I use this leg to back way up and get into this shape here. When they chase me and go for the tackle, they will get it, but I will catch the head because I have time. And from here, I'm going to extend my legs and hoist my choking arm, which stays perpendicular to my body, and it just moves directly up along my body. So these two things. And that'll be a good solid guillotine. Old school guillotine, effective as ever. Okay, feet down, Kimura. If I can catch the Kimura, that's fantastic. But if they run, I'm going to go for the bump sweep. So I'm going to try and catch their elbow. And I've retreated my foot. This sets up my third attack and makes my second one better. You'll get more punch in your hip bump sweep. I try to do this, but they drive into me. Okay, I back way up and I wrap the head, get my other hand in there. And then I'm going to let them, they will tackle me. And I will extend, having caught the head. Okay, so let's do a few of these. I'm trying to think of a good angle. I'm going to start here. So feet down, side bend. I want the Kimura, so I'm going to do everything right for Kimura, but they run. So I get up. That's my hand and my foot over here retracting. Oop. And I try to go forward, but I have to back up. So I'm here. I catch the head as they go to tackle me, which they will. But I'm going to wrap the head here, cross my feet, and extend. See my arm come right up my body here. Let's do that again. Feet down, go for the Kimura. They run. I come up, and my foot retracts. That allows me to back up too. And now, lean forward as I am. They come in for the tackle. I catch the head, lean back, catch the guillotine there. Look, they run. I go to get up. I back up if I have to. Catch the head, wrap, and extend. Feet down, side bend. Kimura if you could. But they start to run, so you come here. They push in, so you back up, catch the head, get tackled, and then extend their body, and pull their head. Okay, let's get our last couple reps. How are we on time? Oh, we're plenty good on time. Fantastic. Feet down, side bend, roll up over your elbow. Catch the Kimura if you can. If you can't, it might be because they backed away. If they backed away, chase it. If they push into you, back up, catch the head, and extend. Kimura, bump sweep, guillotine. Okay, last one. Feet down, side bend, Kimura, hip bump. Catch the head as they hit you here. Don't catch the head here, right? And I've already fallen back a good ways. Now I'm doing a sit-up trying to catch a submission. Do this, and when they run into you now, you'll have already caught it at a good angle, so you're not doing a sit-up when you're trying to catch a submission. Okay. This is one way these go together. My students, you guys have seen me teach different orders of these three moves, and you really could start with a guillotine, switch to a bump sweep. You could start with a bump sweep, switch to Kimura. We've done probably every permutation of these in class. But this week I just chose to go KBG, Kimura, bump, sweep, and guillotine. Last time I taught it, which was only a few weeks ago, we did KGB, 6 weeks ago, I guess. But these fit together in sort of infinite ways. But they all come off of, if you can imagine, I really want you to picture this forward-backward paradigm for the top person. Top person sees that they're being attacked with one of these and reacts by moving forward or backwards, right? If I move backwards, bump sweep. I want you to think bump sweep every time someone's on you and you're trying to pull them down and they do this. You see the backwards arrow, you see their energy disappearing, you just chase it. You're going to go with it. You're going to manage that distance just like you would manage distance as we do striking, which is to say, don't let it get to a striking distance. So somebody's down, they start to back up, stay with them, chase them, bump sweep. Someone pushes into you, back away a little bit, bait them to chase you. And when they go to chase you, see my head is sticking out. My base, my butt has come off my knees. This is the best time to catch a guillotine. It's right now. But this is not the best time to catch a guillotine because I have great base to push backwards and get rid of you, push you off, and shed you, right? But if you start to push me backwards and then I go, no, you don't, and I come forward, boom, as soon as my butt comes off my heels, in particular when my hips get above my knees, I have no way. Once you catch my head here, I don't even have the power to push backwards. It would be all arm strength. Meanwhile, you're using the strongest muscles in your whole body to be catching my head. So that's the time to catch a guillotine. But anyway, think of forward, backward. Where's my opponent in terms of this forward, backward? Are they leaning way forward? Maybe their head's sticking out for a guillotine. But in particular, are they moving backwards? I want to hit a bump sweep here. And bump sweep, whether you hit it, if you go for it every time, whether you hit a bump sweep won't matter when failing a bump sweep either direction gives you a submission. Like, oh, he posted, I can catch the Kimura, or oh, he pushed into me, I can catch a guillotine. So enter this trio anytime you can. And the ways to enter, the stops that you can get on this train that go in a circle around these 3 submissions are any of them. You get in that train on any of these and you're good. So if this person moves backwards, bump sweep, that puts you right in this trio. And it's a great place to circle around and be attacking somebody, right? Very hard to defend once you enter this sort of, you start going down the drain, right? With these 3 submissions. It'll be the same with the 3 submissions, 3 submission trio that we work Thursday night, which will be armbar, omoplata, triangle. So tune in for that one too. Thanks for being with me here tonight, guys. Nice to see you in person, and we'll see you guys soon. Cool. Yoga's next. Stay tuned. And thanks for being here, YouTubers.